So, with everything going on right now and in the current day, I just wanted to make this video, sort of a soapbox, about how we are slowly losing our humanity. And that's because of AI. That is a topic that no one wants to cover on here. So, I'm going to be the brave individual, that brave pilgrim that really delves deep here. I'm a student studying computer science, and along with many others right now, we are kind of impending on a little bit of a doom-pilled workforce, if you will. A little sad, yeah, things aren't looking good. As I've been going through this program of getting this piece of paper that tells me how to use a computer, that light at the end of the tunnel of me getting this really cool, fun software job where I can make games or something like that has just been slowly dimming, which is a little depressing. Because the thing is, when I started this about 3 years ago, ChatGPT was in their prime. It just hit mainstream. And sure, it could write an essay in 5 seconds and recant shanties and talk in pirate speak, but couldn't code like me. Couldn't do that. So I had the leg up. As long as I stuck to my fundamentals, my data structures, my algorithms, prayed to my programming god, John Carmack, every single night, those junior roles, they'll be there. And I'm going to get one. And yeah, that's gone. So just in the past year, there's been mass layoffs. There's been more AI usage in the gaming industry, entertainment, just regular software development. And I believe that it is furthering us from our own humanity and ourselves. And in turn, each other. Because there's been this rising trend to use AI, especially on the web. Not the internet. Different thing. I'll die on that hill. And because of that, I did a social media cleanse this past year because every time I got on, it was what we now call AI slop. Especially on like your short form stuff like Reels. YouTube Shorts is awful about that. Awful. And it just gets mind numbing after a certain amount of time. Like just last week, I was going through Reels because I was bored, and there's this AI dachshund that is talking to me through the screen saying how I can get a free Big Mac at my local McDonald's because of this one trick. And I watched all 1 minute and 40 seconds of that reel. Had 200,000 likes. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm thinking, man, I'm screwed. Because I'm not, this is what's making money. And all your companies are going to be like, oh, well, it's making money. It's pretty cheap. I think we're going to use this more often. And that is the most soul-sucking idea. And I hate it. It makes me want to die. And this fusion between AI and entertainment is dangerous because it kind of makes us all consumers. The idea of creating something is more of a foreign idea. Now you can make the argument that putting things into a prompt and sending that to an LLM and then that regurgitating something new is creation. And I'm really not trying to be an asshole, but my nice way of saying that is you're just wrong. I'm sorry, but you're wrong. Because creation, it's so much deeper than something new. It's the infusion of one's mind along with their soul. I've heard people refer to art as a divine thing. And yeah, I totally agree with that. That is like something from the innermost part of yourself. Yes, technically that falls under that umbrella. And some will make the argument of, well, artists steal things all the time. They get inspiration from other pieces of art, and how's that any different from an AI? They're turning southern now. What's the difference between an AI scraping the web and using that and making something new? And yeah, artists do get inspiration from other artists. That is true. That is a thing that happens. I don't make art, really, but I get inspired by a lot of other art to make other things. The problem is that it is different because with an artist, yes, you are inspired by a lot of art. And yes, your style might be kind of waned off of one you really like, but at the end of the day, you're going to put your own spin on it. And that's how it is. And it ends up becoming your own and becomes super personal to you, your divine self, your soul, wherever you want to go with that. And an AI is just not capable of that because it doesn't have a self. It's not autonomous. It doesn't have a soul. It just is. And it looks at patterns, looks at tokens, and gives you what you want, but strictly what you want. And it doesn't really know what it's doing, but it's going to do it anyway. Because the thing is, like, at the end of the day, if you were to trace over someone else's work or something like that, your self, your soul, is still imbued in that work. Granted, shouldn't publish that and try to make money off that. That is plagiarism. That is a reason that that's illegal. Could say make the same argument for AI, but that's a whole different can of worms. But there's still an element of the soul and yourself in that work. And again, an AI is just not capable of that. And that's to say, I'm not trying to slam dunk on AI. AI is fine in some cases. I'd be lying if I say I'd never used it. I've used it certain times to debug. The thing is I feel bad using it. Like, pretty well known that all your data centers are pretty intensive when it comes to resources and things like that, and I'm scared if I throw in a prompt that I'm turning a small town in Kentucky that has a data center to the Sahara Desert. So now we're at this crossroads of the idea of creation is kind of being watered down and slowly forgotten, and because of that, I believe our humanity is also doing the same effects happening on it. And that goes along with programming. Look, programming is not on the same level as painting like an oil canvas or something like that, but it's an art. I would say it's an art. Same level that carpentry is an art. It's a trade and a thing you do that you try to perfect and you enjoy and you love. And I think programming has become one of those things in the workplace now, especially with AI becoming more of a requirement rather than an option, that it's sort of a means to an end. They really only care about the final product. The whole process of collaboration and working with other people and doing all these things, like how you saw in like the 90s and 2000s with like Bungie when they were in their prime, and then like with id Software and stuff like that. And you just don't see that today with your big companies. And because of that, I'm less excited to be in that workspace. I'm almost done. I'm almost graduated. And I don't know how to feel, you know? Not to mention me even getting a job. That's a whole different thing. But even if I manage to get one of my 1 million interviews to go through and I get the position, how much am I going to enjoy it? Because there seems to be this growing culture of token maxing and, you know, how many AI chatbots are under your team? Needless to say, it's tough out here at the moment. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that. But what can we do about that? I feel like there is a yearning for authenticity because it's become so rare now, especially online. And there's a reason that, you know, indie games and AA studio games have gotten so big in the past few years, is because there is that hunger and that drive for the love of the game. Not just the video game, but like the process, doing everything about it, the art, and getting that final product. But it's not the means to an end, it's the final goal. There's people on Blue Sky that I follow that make amazing art, so good. And I mean, if I had the funds right now, I'd commission them for things. I will get there eventually, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, the art of creation is not dead, is the main thing I want to say in this video. But the idea of it and the definition and the life of it has faded in the past year or two. At least I believe. And I think us tapping into ourselves and our humanity and learning about ourselves and creating things not only brings us closer to ourselves, but to others. And I think that's a really beautiful thing, an important thing. I mean, that's the reason I made this video. I'm not great at making videos, but this is kind of like my old man yelling at cloud moment. But yeah, it's mine. I made it by myself. I encourage you to make something. It could be something like this, or it could be something bigger or smaller. It really is up to you and how much time you have, but I believe that you'll find it to be a very rewarding thing. And not only is this normalization of creating just for the sake of creation not only good, but brings us back to who we are and our own humanity. And I think that's really important. So, thank you for watching this. Good luck. It'll be fine. Yeah. Okay. Bye.